So, our first episode.
Yes, it's going to be very juicy. You want to stay the whole episode.
That's right. It's really hard to bring up. It's hard to bring up already as a American, right? But it's even harder to talk about if you come from a more traditional Chinese family.
Yes.
If we tell our parents like 我们在考虑开放式的婚姻, I think my mom would just be like, 什么意思？
我妈妈会说你们就闹吧。
对，然后最近就像我跟你说的，好几个 podcast, they were all talking about open marriage. There must be a lot of people doing this. And you know what? You were the very first person who told me, I know this Chinese couple, they are in an open marriage. So my first reaction to you was, are they like super American ABCs? And I remember you saying, oh no, they just 他们才就前几年才从北京搬过来美国。
Yeah, that's right.
I'm so shocked.
They're definitely not your typical couple that you would think are in an open marriage. 而且他们也没有公开，所以就是看到他们绝对第一个想法不会是说，oh, I think something's going on in their marriage. They're just normal couple. 而且他们很恩爱。In public, you see them as a really loving couple.
我很少见到 like traditional Chinese couple, it'd be super affectionate.
Yeah.
很少。
对，我觉得 Chinese people are just not expressive. I wish us Chinese people are more expressive.
Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off though, because I feel the people I've met lately, I think they are very expressive. I think it's maybe just your luck too.
Expressive Chinese people, yeah. I think once you get close to people, they can be expressive. But I wish we were just more forward, more expressive at the
more PDAs. Come on, just more PDAs.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, just be expressive with everyone. Even in the way that we talk, do you notice? I think the more American way, how do people tell if you're a fob versus not? Like, fobs are less expressive if you listen in their responses to things. Instead of saying, wow,
I don't agree though, because
I've never heard a fob say like
I think it's the point of view. Because to our American friends, like, you're so fob, right?
Yeah.
They still joke about that.
Yeah.
But to my Chinese friends, they will think I'm like super Americanized.
Yeah.
你也是这样子的感受吧？
Yeah, definitely.
三文
That's
治
the bicultural aspect to us that sometimes we feel like we get the best of both worlds. Sometimes we feel like we don't belong in any world.
对，也不是 like we are our own. Oh, you said it.
Yes. We are the middle slice in a Venn diagram.
对，我就觉得首先这个 PDA, it actually leads to my question, right? Like, why do Chinese people think about open marriage? It's because you must have something that you cannot get from your spouse. 就是有一些东西是缺了的。但就像你刚才说的一样，对吧？老夫老妻了，我们已经没有那种
romantic.
But then your spouse won't do it. So you're probably thinking, oh, if I'm with other people, maybe I could, get a hug or something.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah.
对，我明白。那这个是一个原因，对吧？你会觉得
Yeah. I think the success of an open marriage depends on your intentions. I have a story of a failed open marriage because the intentions were not right. It was not set with the right intention because I think to make an open marriage successful, you need to have primary partners that you love. Like the bond between you and your partner have to be so solid and strong for the open marriage to work, actually. It's counterintuitive.
你没有事干嘛没事找事
Yeah.
Right? But I can see Americans, they might just want to break them.
Monogamy.
Oh, we're bored.
Yeah, I think it depends on how you think about monogamy. Right? And monogamy right now is like the form of relationship that's most accepted in society now. But is it truly what we want? Is it truly in our nature to be monogamous?
I always have this theory that in the history of humankind, the concept of marriage is just the recent couple hundred years, maybe 1,000 years, right? But we have so many, many, many more years of human life before then, and to survive in a harsh environment, you are hunted, or you don't have enough food, right? So you have to have more offsprings to survive, and more genetic variety, so that you don't have these like weird genetic problems, right?
Yeah.
So people will have many different partners throughout their lifetime.
Yeah.
Back in those
Well,
days,
for women, I think it makes more sense to be non-monogamous now because we have choices, we have more options,
对
and
啊
we're financially independent.
父系社会之前
Yeah.
其实
是
是
母系。
母系社会的。
对对对。
So in the very beginning,
Yes. It's
we call the
matriarchal.
shots. Yeah, exactly. Like I was just saying, that's
Yeah.
my theory,
Yeah.
right? Like, is it within our blood? Is 50 years being with the same person, is that really what our true nature
I don't think
tells us?
so.
Right?
I don't think so. That's why I think we should question monogamy. But I think to have a successful open relationship, you definitely need to have the right intentions and rules in place.
So most people, when they are outsiders looking at open marriage couples, we always think that it's probably because these people, their marriage isn't working out, and they are just, finding this new way of, let's not get a divorce, let's just, go to the plan B or whatever. But it's still a slow death of a relationship or marriage. We are just like trying to find distractions. Instead of solving the problems you cannot solve between
Yeah.
these two people, you're just like
Yeah.
finding another excuse or way to.
Yeah, but it also depends on how you look at marriage. If you look at marriage as an economic union, like a partnership for raising family, and then you have small children that depend on both of you now, I think it's fine to keep that partnership and
Yeah.
the marriage.
I get
And then if the romantic love is not there anymore between the two of you, I think you can still have a primary focus on each other for the sake of the family, raising the family, providing stability for your kids as a like an economic unit or your nuclear family, but you can seek elsewhere for romantic love. And everybody deserves love. I think the meaning of life to me fundamentally is love, right? And so to not have that in your life,
I think just affection. Come on, it doesn't even have to be that deep, right?
and desired. Exactly.
Yeah.
And you
Someone
don't
to say nice things to you.
you don't get that anymore after 20 years of marriage, very commonly, right? You don't get that anymore. So I think everyone deserves.
Like, babe, you're so hot. At least, come on, just say that.
Yeah.
Right? But
First, you can communicate and you have to be on the same page. If both partners agree to work on the marriage, I think that should definitely be the first step.
So back to the intention.
Yeah.
So you said the failed story that you have.
Yeah, I think
The intention.
the intention was to rationalize
Cheating.
Yeah.
其实很多人，大部分人都会这样想。
对，所以就是 that's not the right intention. I think there should be still some love between the partners, and you really want the other person
对，真心想对方
to
好。
enjoy life and to
对。
find that spark, that love again. You feel safe that that person won't abandon you, so to speak, because you have this family that depend on both of you.
I'll tell you, I'm there. Like, 怎么样解释这种感受？其实就是我前夫哥，他现在没有任何 like 就 date anyone, right? But if he does date someone, I will feel really happy for him because I think he's a great person,
Yeah.
and he deserves
Yes.
someone who like could, I don't know, suits him, right?
对
I'm seeing somebody that, and we had this talk that 其实我们在一起就是很开心，对吧？就每一次见面都很开心，但是有很多时候你是不在彼此的旁边，对不对？
对
然后他也知道 like I'm seeing other people,
Yeah.
and he also, right?
Yeah.
And but at the same time, I told him I'll be so happy for him
Yeah.
that if he, 就是认识别的人，然后真心喜欢别的人，就告诉我听就行了。Right? Like then we could just be friends or something like that because that's not my husband.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
I think I'm sort of there.
Yeah.
I know how that feels.
Yeah.
But if I'm like the spouse still in love
Yeah.
with my husband,
Yeah.
and he sits me down and he's like, how about we try open marriage? I would just be like, did you cheat on me?
Yeah.
Are you thinking about cheating on me?
I think it's okay to think about, to
对
not cheating, but be thinking about
other
like, am I just logged in with one person? Like, it's better to have this open relationship conversation before you go on to do anything
yeah.
than after the fact.
Yeah.
So I think it all comes down to like transparent
Yeah,
communication.
transparency.
Yeah, transparency. And if you're not happy in the marriage, obviously approach your partner, like try to work on it. But if the solution is to seek elsewhere, like meet some new people, make some new connections, there's so many interesting people in this world. You tend to be just so tunnel visioned when you're in this marriage with
对
one person
啊，因
for
为你
years.
focus. Yeah.
You lose a lot of opportunities to make interesting connections with people, right? But you don't want to do it with guilt. You actually want to make genuine connections with people, and sometimes it could lead to romantic feelings, and you don't want to feel guilty because we're just human and we want to experience that human experience. Like, really, if our partner is okay with that, that is the greatest gift
Yeah,
in a
because
relationship.
it's not just about sex, right? Like it
No.
could be about 对啊，你就是找到一个跟你特别多话说，然后就不用说是故意要去找话题，
对，或
对，就
者是
就
对对
或者是你在一起，you just enjoy，就是他搂着我，然后我
Yeah，
就靠在他肩膀上，就什么话都不用说，就已经觉
对
得
对
like comfortable silence, right? Like you're
Yeah，
just enjoying the moment.
Yeah，
Come on, like I did not get that with my ex-husband. Never.
Yeah，
I just didn't feel seen,
Yeah，
right? So this is
Same.
one of those things that you just want to be seen by someone new.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really interesting to it's like shopping for clothes. Like you've worn the same piece of clothes, 穿一件衣服穿了
那个是你的制服，
对20年30年 you're very comfortable every day you just pick it off the
fudge,
coat
that is
the
a
coat
sad
hanger and
life.
just wear it, right? And one
Mhm.
day you can go shopping and then you have new dresses, new clothes that
对，
you can
我
pick
明白，
from. How
对。
exciting is that?
I know, right? You have the sporty type,
Yeah.
you have like the artsy type, and then you have like the nerdy techie type. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
the
对啊，我觉得 I mean my philosophy about life is just to like explore and experience as much as
connection.
possible
Yeah,
because we
genuine
only
connection.
have what like good like on the good
4,000
side.
weeks.
Yeah, 30,000 days on the good side. Just it's all about the experiences you have, and I don't know. I'm happy like the way my relationship has is working out with my co-parent and
对，
how like, he was able to experience like a new exciting love for
嗯
a while
and you did too later.
and I'm just making new connections.
I
Good for I'm really happy for both of us.
So we have a failed example, and then the first couple you told me about, that's like the super affection. I remember you guys, 你说你们去什么 Olympic Peninsula, that couple out of everybody
Yeah.
was like the most affectionate,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
open marriage couple. So they are still a success story, would you say?
Yeah,
Or
definitely. Yeah.
I know you mentioned the lady in the relationship, like she goes to on date on the weekend. What about the guy? Is he dating someone or has he?
I don't know. I'm not that
Mm.
close to the guy, but I have no idea what he's
And
done.
she genuinely is happy
I
for
don't know if
Oh,
she's dating. I haven't talked to her on
oh,
this topic for a while, but I know that they both agreed on
okay.
having an open marriage.
I just feel jealousy and insecurity still come into play
Yeah.
because that's just, human nature. The person I was telling you about, right? Like, I'm okay with it,
Mhm.
right? If you meet other people, I'm totally fine with it. Just let me know.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I always said, 你再努力去找，
Yeah.
我鼓励你去找，
Yeah.
你才会知道，找到像我这样子的是多难。
优秀的。
也不是优秀的，就是说 like, you know, we totally click.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I think I'm pretty attractive.
Yeah.
Right?
And good in bed.
I just think he's really hot, right?
Yeah.
So 我觉得我自己挺有信心。
We are both diamonds. They're not gonna find better.
or unicorns or
Yeah.
whatever.
The jealousy is what makes it not work. It's very easy to get jealous. That's the failed example that I have is the jealousy. I think most guys probably want a one-way open marriage where they get to have
对，
multiple partners.
就是
But when the
double
woman has
standard.
it, yeah,
嗯哼
when the woman has other partners, it's really hard for the men to accept.
I remember when you guys were thinking about it.
Yeah.
I remember when this was brought up, you came to me with the reaction.
Yeah.
You weren't happy with it.
Right. I think at first it was really hard for me. So actually in the beginning, I was the one that proposed it. I was the one that put this idea in his mind. If
You planted the seed.
I planted the seed because I read books on it and I read Esther Perel's book, State of Affairs and Mating in Captivity. Yeah, I think
I didn't know that.
I mean, there was no concrete solutions from her, but she did mention that like non-monogamy, polyamory could be something that we should explore. We shouldn't rule it out. I put the seed in his mind, but we never agreed to anything. We never talked about it for a long time. Yeah, but I think because I was facing such rockiness in my marriage, I wanted to try everything possible to make it work. But when he actually had somebody and I found out, I was so heartbroken. I had to take
remember.
sleeping pills. I couldn't
对
sleep for weeks.
You met me for dinner. You told me, and I held your hand during that dinner. The entire time, 你的手是冰凉的. Your hands were like
Yeah.
icy cold
And
and shaking.
And I never knew what heartbroken felt like. And I experienced exactly what it feels like to have your heart broken into 1,000 pieces. Like when I found out about her.
He found someone.
Yeah,
briefly,
and
in
it was
China.
casual.
Yeah, in China.
Yeah,
because it's a lot harder for guys to find someone.
For a Chinese guy.
Yeah. Anyway.
But when they go back, they're like, shit. Because
maybe, I don't know.
You know.
Yeah, maybe, but I'm also the shit, so.
We're the shit here.
I remember that. It was really traumatic for you. Because he did like, just the regular stuff, all these elaborate dinners and gifts.
Yeah,
right?
but also it was not, I wouldn't call it cheating because we were already co-parenting. We had a lot of problems in our marriage.
And he did tell you it's okay for you to pursue. I remember that. You're open.
Yeah, but we just never sat down and talked about like,
对
okay, we give each other the green light. We
对
never really set the rules or anything.
Yeah, and then it just happened.
I had to find out on my own, but he said that he was going to tell me, which I believe he would. But just finding out that initial time when he had someone else felt like such a betrayal.
Yeah.
That it was so hard for me to process for a long, long time. Yeah.
Are you sure a long time? Because I remember this. So 2 months later,
That's a long time.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it was like a month. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I remember I was getting ready to go on a trip somewhere and I met up with you before my trip. And you were like so giggly and happy. I'm in love. 我说啊，怎么这么快？
Well, that's for many sleepless nights and taking sleeping pills.
Well, I think a long time is relative, but I understand. Like, it's a intense a betrayal, right? Like rip your heart out of your
Yeah,
chest.
and that's how I felt. That was my experience. That's very subjective to me.
Right, but then
Yeah.
let me just remind you 2 months later, you were like, I met this guy, but you're so happy. And you were like, yeah, we talk all
第
the
一次
time.
尝坚果。
你真的是我and I think
Well, I
那个
had the
状
same
态 was really nice,
I
really
had
good to
yeah,
see you
because
like
I
that.
had the same 20 years and it was the first
No,
time
and
that
wouldn't you think that is also a confidence boost
Yeah.
that this like younger, I'm sorry, attractive guy, right? And I mean, you show me his picture, and it's funny that this time around you are staying away from Chinese guys, and
Yeah.
I'm all about Chinese guys.
Yeah. I'm so done with Chinese guys. I think
是啊，
it's PTSD. I
因为我
don't know. I think the stereotype about them of being
嗯哼，
misogynist and
是
just
吗？
cheaters and I don't know. Not all guys.
You're right, right. No,
I'm
no, no.
stereotyping, but that's because my PTSD like
对，
that
我
I
明白了。
focus on the worst traits.
Because I was in the countryside. So
Yeah.
all the guys I could date were white guys until like much later.
Yeah.
So I like we're flipped.
Flipped because growing up I never like I just kind of never paid attention to non-Chinese guys. I don't know why because maybe in
Mhm.
my heart subconscious I always was looking for a life partner like someone to get married and inside my heart I just like never thought about marrying someone who's not Chinese because like
Mhm.
family values are so important to me. I wanted to marry someone who could really get along with my parents and understand my background, my
Yeah.
cultural background.
Yeah.
So I never even considered dating
是吗？我觉得这个很
any
奇怪，
yeah.
对，是不是新鲜感的问题还是什么？但是 like the stereotypes don't necessarily apply in my current
Mhm.
experiences here. But I don't know if it's because they're already here,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So, but let's go back to this open marriage thing, right?
Yeah.
And I remember when you were back here, you started dating, you had your relationship during that open marriage. You were pretty happy for a while.
Yeah, I tried to like play by the rule. So I
Oh.
told my co-parent, then my husband, that I was dating someone and I was going on a weekend getaway with him. And then I told him that I would tell him where I was, but
Mhm.
I forgot. And then
Oh.
he was furious. He was like, "You're the mom of my kids. Like, I don't know where you are. You're like out in the
Mm.
woods with some stranger guy. Like what?
Oh,
Like
担心你
yeah." But then he just went off like
tangent.
really attacking me. And then
Yeah.
like when I came back, I think he just blew up. Like couldn't. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think there was
双标，
definitely yeah
双标 double
definitely
standard.
not jealousy, but maybe he felt it was really unfair because his partner was in China. And then
Mhm.
here locally, I can see this guy like, anytime I wanted. So it was not
对，
fair. And
嗯，
he just felt like he couldn't control the situation. I think it's
对，
all about controlling,
嗯哼
feeling like you can control your partner. I think it was a good lesson, good experience. I'm glad I had that experience.
It ran its course，对吧？
Yeah, and also it was really just a rebound. I think
对，
I really was just looking for someone to, in my heart, to get even with him.
对。
And he just happened to show up in my life.
So do you think you follow the rules but not your co-parent?
I try to be honest and transparent and not make this into lying behind his back thing. I think also that's kind of out of respect and love in a way for that
对呀，
person.
你
You
说
don't
要
want to
开放，
hurt.
对呀，你
You
说要
don't
开放婚姻嘛，对吧？
对, because I tried the open communication and he can't take it. So then I have no other choice but to hide the truth.
对，其
Yeah.
实就是说这样的开放式婚姻反而
不如
把
分开，
对，就
对。
或者是把问题放更大了，
Yeah.
又或者是又是另外一种伤
Yeah.
害，
我
另
觉得那就
外一种
不是开
伤害。
放式婚姻了. Yeah, that's why we couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. It was a nice idea and we tried it. Me
逃避面对那个
要
现实嘛，就是
对
说
要离婚。
要离婚的现实，因为 it's just one of the choices that you make, and it makes sense for you, your family, for stability.
I think mostly for the kids, for
对
family, for
对
stability of holding together the family. If I didn't have kids, we would be split up really quickly. Definitely, it's 100% for the kids.
那你还是会经历一样的伤心吗？就是
No, well, I think it depends on your mind.
mindset.
I was not over him completely, so I fell into a depression for months. But now like the switch is off, and I'm over him. So that's when I'm able to be a
对
good co-parent. I think you really need to get over it and have the switch off, both of you.
嗯哼
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just like just be really clear in your mind who you are and have boundaries, like
对
really clear boundaries. You're just co-parents. You
嗯
can be happy, you can joke with each other.
蛮好的，我觉得
You
这
can
样
actually have a really really good relationship
friendship. 对
without the sex. You really can. And you can be good parents to the kids.
Right. For me, I didn't have sex with my ex-husband
Anyway.
for a long time anyway. So it was a switch that was very easily switched off
Yeah,
because it was
off for a
already
long
off.
time.
And I guess if it happened from the very beginning, like when you sense that, okay, you have all these issues with your spouse, would you choose to do the same thing again? Like,
I think it should have ended before we had kids. We had problems
oh,
since the beginning before kids.
但是我的意思就是说 Okay, after kids, right?
Yeah.
对，就是回到你在提这个开放式婚姻之前，
Yeah.
如果重新再来的话，你会是选择离婚还是开放式婚姻 again?
我会 give it a try，我就会给开放式婚姻
You will still
a try.
choose to do it again?
Yeah, but he has to work with me on it. He
嗯，
cannot have the same kind of intense reaction when I go date. It cannot be a double standard thing. It has to be
对
equal on both sides, and we trust each other. We're communicative with each other and transparent, honest. I think if my partner can do that, I can do that, and I'm willing to give it a try.
Wow,
Yeah.
because I thought you would totally say, "哦，我不会再选择开放式婚姻." No, like
No.
this is good. This is good
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah.
哦，
Yeah, I don't know if I believe in monogamy. Even now, dating people, we're just exploring our connections, our
对，
different
嗯
feelings with different people.
It's for the kids.
Yeah,
对，真的
monogamy.
是
Yeah,
monogamy 真的是 is just for the kids,
it's
right?
for and society. I think as
对
governments want
对
people to be stable and
对对对，
right
是
and just
的
settle down with your family units. It's easier to
，control.
govern.
Wow, I didn't know we are gonna like
Talk about politics.
But yeah, thank you so much for being candid. That's so important, right? Since that's real.
Yeah,
That we share this
yeah,
truly our stories and what we think. And I
yeah,
um I look forward to the next hot
yeah.
topics. I have several cooking.
I can't wait. And I just want to say that it takes so much courage to be transparent like this. Like,
I
I
know.
really appreciate you having
Oh,
this courage to, wanting to do this podcast. And
oh, thank you. I
I'm
thought you
proud of myself for
yes,
having this courage. It takes a lot of courage to put ourselves out there and to speak the truth. I
right.
think I
To
recently
share the yeah.
yeah,
It's very personal.
I recently finished a book. It's a really good book. I recommend it to everyone who's going through a divorce or wants to know what a
Mm-hmm.
divorce feels like. It's called Strangers by Belle Burden.
我好像听说
It's
过。
a really good book and I just really admire her courage to speak the truth when her mom and grandmother were like both cheated on and kind of abandoned by men, but they
Oh,
hid the truth, but she chose to come forward and tell her
oh,
story.
oh,
I really recommend the book and a really candid portrayal of a divorce.
哦，我刚才还以为你会说，就是我也认同啦，就是说 open marriage you
Yeah.
need a lot of courage
Yes.
and
Open
trust。
marriage as
对，
well. Yeah.
就我觉得其实是一个赌博啊，
Oh yeah.
因
Yeah.
为你这是 open ended。
Yeah. Because you don't know, the partner might not want to be with you anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I know like I'm definitely the best, but if that happened to me,
Yeah.
right? Because 前夫哥的确 suggest 过一次
Yeah.
but I was thinking No, I'm already move on. Not want to share. I don't care at all. But like,
you don't want
I
to
don't want to
work
go
on
back to him.
right. You don't want to work on this marriage
对，
anymore.
我已
That's the
经
thing. If you want an open relationship, you need
love each other or
exactly. That means you
be committed.
also want to work on your
对
current primary
对
relationship.
就不能逃避自己的伴侣，就不能
对
逃避的。其
Exactly.
实我觉得 fail 是因为这个变成了是逃避。
对
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's the wrong intention for an
Yeah.
open marriage. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so next time it's going to be the dating scene.
I am so excited to hear your story.
Fortunately for our listeners, both Celine and I have lots of really good dating stories. Actually, for me, mostly positive.
Yeah. For me
I'm very
too. I
excited.
don't think I've ever went on a really horrible date. Like,
And
all the men are really like gentlemen and nice guys.
yeah, it's so fortunate for us that these people are still in our lives or they become my friends, you know, or
Yeah, that's because
something
they're
else.
very nice. I keep in touch with them.
I'm so glad we did this.
I know. Thank you. See you next time.
See you next time.